I like to say that I was born an Irish American over in Jersey City, just across the Hudson River. And I was so intensely an Irish American that you might say the American was little tiny print and the Irish was giant letters. And that's the way it went until I was about 15 or 16 years old. And then I read a wonderful novel by Kenneth Roberts, a great historian and historical novelist. It was called Oliver Wiswell, and it was about the American Revolution from a very unusual point of view. It was fascinating because I suddenly realized here was a world that I didn't know and didn't understand at all. And that's when I started to become an historian of the American Revolution, where this is our country. And that changed my whole life, that discovery of the American Revolution. And I think this may help a lot of Americans realize how history can really change your life. You have to look back in order to appreciate what we're accomplishing in the present, or how easily people forget the past. The thing that really can turn on a lot of people today is an anniversary. That is so important. And I think a great way to get them involved is to take a great anniversary that they haven't heard about. And that's why I think I'm so pleased to be involved in this decision to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this Stamp Act protest. And this is going to stall people to an amazing degree. And I think the best part of it is that we're going to celebrate what happened here in New York. And we'll find out, when we get into this anniversary, we'll find out that New York was amazingly like, in New York of 1765, had amazing resemblances to this huge city today. All joined forces in deciding that they were not going to tolerate this attempt to tax them without any representation, because the tax of the Stamp Act came from the British Parliament, and it was definitely going to be this first step everyone could see in a process that would perhaps reduce the Americans to the equivalent of slaves. At least it was a moment of a huge explosion of awareness of the word American. We all these people, I say we because I identify with them so closely, we all looked at each other and said, if we let the British get away with this, we're going to be British subjects, British yes men for the rest of our lives. We founded this country. We've struggled to create it. And yes, it's a wealthy country. And that's something that I think most people don't know, that in 1765, the 13 colonies, they weren't the United States yet, the 13 colonies had the highest per capita income in the entire world. We were a rich country. And not only that, we were the lowest taxed country in the whole world. Yes, that may startle you, but at the same time, we knew that if anybody taxes us, it's going to be us, not some guys 3,000 miles away sitting in some building they call Parliament. So that's what we were fighting for. We were fighting for the first step toward being an independent nation in this great protest of the Stamp Act. And I hope all Americans, and all New Yorkers especially, will join us in this. And the best part of this celebration is the fact that here in New York we have the same geography that we had in 1765. The Bowling Green was where the huge protest took place. 2,000 guys, a lot of them with guns in their hands, and there was a British regiment in a fort. The potential for a huge explosion and bloodshed was very big, and yet it didn't happen, partly because there were cooler heads in the whole crowd, but also I think the Americans of those days realized even then that they were going to assert themselves at this point. They were just going to assert the fact that they were Americans and they were going to speak out. And that's what we're going to do on November 1st in Bowling Green here in New York City. And the geography is all still there. We can go down and put our hands on the bricks on the ground there at Bowling Green and say, yes, I'm reaching back 250 years. I'm putting my hand or my feet exactly where those brave Americans of 1765 stood, announcing they were Americans and they were not going to let themselves be pushed around. I think the thing that will make me happiest about this great celebration will be the feeling that a huge number of New Yorkers are participating in it. The more the merrier, as the saying goes, and the more the prouder, the more intelligent, the more deeply we understand who we are by looking back in this way. And that's why I think this celebration on Bowling Green and in the Customs House on November 1st is something I want to share with you, and I want you to share it with me.
Perfect.